amazing to see his transformation. Like once he did that NPR Tiny Desk series, I was just like, yo, like this is not your uncle's Gucci Mane.
But which transformation you talking about? Like after he got out of prison?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
The after prison conversation.
The clone.
The clone
transformation.
Gucci running around here with a clone. Out of everybody in the fucking world, they go clone Gucci, man. They go waste all that technology and money on Roderick Davis.
I'm just glad he's not in jail no more.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
he stayed out. Like, good for him. He that's what he should be doing.
Yeah, because, man, it seemed like Gucci was going to jail every other week.
Because he was making money then and not being able to spend it.
Right.
That's the worst shit on earth, where you making hella money off other cats, but you can't touch it.
But then look what happened to that money now.
Ain't enough tuna in jail for him to buy.
right.
Another duplex cookies.
And it's like when you look, and then you look at jail, and you look at the commissary, like the max you can put on somebody's books is like 5,000. You sit there like, like at that point you feel like what can you even do with that money? Like what is Gooch doing?
Nothing. Be sad.
right.
Rehabilitate. Get a clone.
Get a clone.
Bought a clone.
Get a clone. Listen, I don't know. You never know what Gucci did. I feel like, but you know what? I feel like also you encounter so many lies about prison with rap that it's kind of funny. Like when Rick Ross said he went to the jail and he saw Meek Mill with yellow Balenciagas on, I'm sitting here like, Rick, look. Listen, we got Mike on the outside. Mike, do you think? Because I feel like you visited prisons as much as I have. Do you think there's any way you would have been able to see yellow Balenciagas on the inmate? His response was "fuck out of here." In case I
maybe in like the low key feds, like
right.
out east, shit. As a motherfucker who been in county, no sir,
They was
not
shaking,
happening.
They was shaking the cages I was walking through. Told me I couldn't get in.
I guarantee you would have saw Meek's yellow Balenciagas on another nigga named Bubble. Rocking his boat.
Yellow Balenciagas.
So y'all hear another voice. That's not Aunt P. It's not fresh. Aunt P got a cup in his hand, by the way. Who knows how this episode is gonna go?
Yeah, you know, we pray for the best, prepare for the worst. That's what we do.
So
pull up.
Oh man,
y'all can pull up. Fresh has changed his life.
Fresh say he changed his life.
When, yesterday?
Yeah. Exactly.
He got that good 22 hours in him.
Man. So I guess, man, I feel like, do I say your government name? Yes.
You go ahead. You can drop the government. We official out here.
I'm going to say it. So we got Brandon Smith. We call Brandon Smith Tiger. It's just natural. We've always done it.
Does that require a pause?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It don't require a pause. It doesn't require a pause. We do got a lot of listeners who definitely went to Whitney Young with us. I heard enough stories. So listen, Brandon went to Whitney Young with us. Oh man. I remember Brandon being the first dude I seen with an overcoat. That was I was like,
this is true.
This is true.
This is true.
This is
like
true.
I knew I was poverty, but once I saw Brandon, I knew what poverty didn't look like.
You tripping.
Hey.
Oh man, but yeah, look, Tiger's a dude who always been super stand up, man, always showing us love like throughout, like from that time, present day, and I don't see it ever changing, man. Just an all around cool dude. And then the thing about him as well, like Brandon has always been like in a different space, because he's in like the music industry space, but it's like weird hybrid music industry advertising at the same time. So the company now is Brewhouse Music. And then too, another thing, if you're my age, let's say 34, Brandon used to manage Hey Champ, and I know some people may know this, but
And GLC the ism.
and GLC. The thing too that's crazy, because I remember like Hey Champ, what was it? The song Gold Dust Girl?
Cold Dust
Cold
Girl.
Dust
Everybody
Girl.
used to call it Gold Dust
Gold-
Girl because in the beginning of the video it was like gold specs and shit, and we
Yeah.
fucked that off. That was our fault. But it was Cold Dust Girl,
Cold
which I
Dust
still to this day I don't know what the fuck they was talking about. They don't really know. But the shit went.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, did you have an event at the Foundation Room?
Yeah,
House
we
of
used to have a
Blues?
partnership with Live Nation.
Yeah,
And once we started like cracking with artists or whatever, like Live Nation hit us up, was like, yo, because Foundation Room, because you have to pay a membership fee
yeah,
to go in there.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers was like, nah, Brad's not right. Their membership fees was low as hell. Like, nobody was paying that. So they were
Right.
like, yo, how can we get more people in here? Like,
Uh-huh.
yo, we tried to finesse the situation. Like, yo, let us just do events here.
right,
So then we started doing them in Chicago, then LA, then they let us hit Vegas. And then, like, we weren't going to have that large of an effect on their bottom line because, like,
okay,
membership fees just, nobody was paying that shit. Not to
Right.
go to the Foundation Room at House of Blues when nobody
Right.
checking for it.
right, exactly.
But we did all right.
Cool. And then I think Hey Champ, I don't know, did they sign the First and 15 Lupe's label?
Yeah, after Lupe saw the video for Cold Dust Girl, he hit us up. And this is literally probably like maybe like a month and a half, 2 months after we signed him. He hit us up and was like, yo, I'm trying to rock with that. That was during his like weirder stages
Okay,
of trying to reach out to rock and roll or whatever, EDM and all that shit. So he signed us and took us on tour immediately.
Okay.
Which is low-key kind of fucked up for a band that like has just started.
okay,
Our first tour, these dudes is flying everywhere.
okay.
So that's what they got used to. I was
Ah.
like, nah, y'all skip the van stage, a car stage,
Right.
all of us staying in one hotel room stage.
Right.
Like, you missed all of that. So
Right.
like that was an interesting thing. But Lupe did like he blessed us, gave us his cosign, and like that was really how that kind of just took off a little bit
Okay.
and then landed.
Let's randomly. I want to kind of circle back to Brewhouse, low key, because were you involved with the music dealer situation too?
I was indeed.
Yes, music dealers. I remember them like first. I was like, oh shit, like music dealers, Brewhouse. So tell me what that, because I know people like Brewhouse, and when people hear like something with music behind, they automatically think label, but that's not what it is. Tell us what Brewhouse is.
So Brewhouse music is it stemmed from my experience with music dealers, which at large is music licensing. We work with advertising agencies, direct to brand. And so anytime you watch like a TV show, film, or a commercial and there's music playing in the background, that music is owned by another entity, so they'll license it or have it created by a company like Brewhouse. So with music dealers, we had at our height probably around like 120,000 artists that were involved in music dealers, non-exclusively, some of them exclusively. So we would license that music for TV shows, films, and in advertisements. For the last like 3 years before I left music dealers, I was really dealing with a lot of like custom music, so creating everything bespoke. And for those individuals that don't know what bespoke means, it's like going to get a suit off the rack or going to get something tailored specifically to you, right? It's going to fit you better. You're going to look a lot flyer. You got to put up a little more coin for it, but it's worth it at the end of the day because it'll last a lot longer, hopefully.
Okay.
So that's what Brewhouse is. It's a custom music house. But we do have like a boutique catalog.
Okay.
So we, music dealers had a great relationship with Coca-Cola. For whatever reason, they decided to part ways, and they hit us up or hit me up and were like, yo, look, it's not because of the creative. It's back office things that, we could talk about later.
Right.
But we're going to move away from this. But should you leave, let us know, because we still like to rock with you creatively. So at that point, I was like, all right, It's Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I'm gone today.
Right.
I have no reason to sit over here no more.
Right.
So that's kind of how Brewhouse spawned, and I was working with these two ill-ass composers, producers out of L.A., Avishai and Yossi, and they wanted me to manage them for a minute. So I talked to them. I was like, let's really just buckle down on this music license thing, cut this overhead, and let's do something.
Okay.
And Coke came with us, Hasbro came with us, and the rest is kind of history. It's been rocking for the last year. It's been a good situation.
Okay. So essentially, like, if I fully get it, but I'm like, so if whether it's a brand, a movie, and so essentially I'll probably, do they come to you kind of with it finished, like, or say, hey, here's this concept we have for this commercial, or I have, like, say, this scene or something like that, and, you know, kind of here's the idea we have, and then they put it in your hands and you take it from there?
Sometimes that's how it works.
Okay.
You know, every situation is vastly different than the next. Some brands know exactly what they want, and they're working with the ad agency that already has the creative. Everything is damn near set up. We've already filmed it. Here, we're giving you the picture. Make something that works with this picture based on, like, either the emotional tug or the aesthetic of what's happening on screen.
Okay.
Here you go. That's like the beautiful situation. That's the utopia.
Right.
Most of the time, cats don't know what they want. Or they say, like, yo, we want to be a little avant-garde. We want to, like, not do what we were doing previously.
Right.
But then you get the brief from the agency, and it's like, yo, it's the same shit that you were doing last year. So you want us to make a better song than what y'all had last year for your anthem? All right, cool. We could do that as long as you cut the check.
Right.
But let's not have, like, these long-winded, like, overproduced creative conversations about what's possible when you don't want to see what's possible.
Okay.
So it's a lot of both, but a majority of the time we're getting involved if the syncable picture is something that they're actually trying to be creative with. They're gonna ask us our input before it's even shot.
Okay.
And how many people are on the team?
So we cut our overhead, like, with music deals, we had like 50 employees.
Right.
With Brewhouse, it's 4 of us.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
We had 5. Unfortunately, we had to let one go. But it is what it is.
Right.
There's 4 of us, but then we have composer and producer roster of like 150 plus composers from around the world.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
And then that's vocal talent, vocalese talent, like voiceover stuff. But in terms of the partners within the company, there's 4 of us.
Okay, and then what you just say, okay, we're going to get a shoestring ad. This girl sounds good singing about shoestring, and this guy makes the perfect beat that goes with her voice or something like that.
Absolutely. It's just like anything. It's like, you know, I liken it. I mean, this is like a loose analogy, but it's like going to Chipotle, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got your own concoction of what you feel is right. That's what we do musically for brands. We help them figure out sonically what's gonna right, or how much avocado though, because it's not just whether or not you want avocado or not. It's like, all right, cool. We don't need a whole cup of that shit.
Right.
Give us some sprinkles of avocado over here, or put that on the side.
True.
That's what we do for brands sonically, because a lot of them, especially when you talk about like holding companies with like a Coca-Cola, they got 500 different beverage brands under the Coca-Cola umbrella, which a lot of people don't ever think about. It's like Coca-Cola is the flagship brand.
Right.
Diet Coke's a different brand. Coke Zero's a different brand. Fanta's a different brand. Dasani's a different brand. They got like 5. And then in other countries, look at Mexico City. Like, the average Mexican citizen consumes 2.5 servings of Coca-Cola products a day because that's just cheaper than water.
Wow.
Damn.
But you never hear about it.
Why
Right.
is that
Look
shit
at
cheaper than
Ant's
water?
face.
Oh, because bottled water is crazy in these other countries.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, I just thought about that.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
Well, you need a
Yeah.
clean water source.
Yeah.
Like, where they getting it from? Not
Yeah.
they sewage system.
Right.
You got to ship that over there.
You know what?
Bottle water cheaper than Coca-Cola.
So I got a question. This may be loaded, but so if you had any artist and producer you could choose from all time to add to your roster, everybody's available, who would it be?
Probably Ninth Wonder.
I did not expect that at all. Ninth Wonder. Okay,
Yeah.
why Ninth Wonder?
Because Homeboy is so eclectic in the way that he approaches music.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, I mean, he's got like a soul about him.
Yeah.
Which like you need to have in terms of advertising. There needs to be some authenticity there. But Ninth Wonder is also so moldable. Like I feel like he's one of those producers that can work with damn near anybody because he's so in tune with music theory and then the soul piece. Because a lot of artists, like, you know what I'm saying, if you're a vocal talent or if you're just like a personality or whatever, right, you don't really understand music, you ain't got no soul.
Right.
You're going to need that element, right? He could give that to you.
Right.
But then he also understands business. He teaches music at, I forget what, somewhere in North Carolina, he teaches at a school. So, like, if you need the theory and the actual knowledge to be in the studio, working the board, producing the track, and controlling the vocalese, like, he could also do that. Yeah. That's just an ill-ass dude.
Yeah, no, very true.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people can't do that. And that's, like, primarily based around, like, you know, a check, but also I rock with the music that he's put out. He's never sold his soul, I don't feel like.
Right.
But Homeboy's also about his business.
Right. Yeah.
And I appreciate that aspect of him, too, because that's an easy person probably to work with. I've never worked with him. Love to. Knight, if you listening, holla at your boy. You got these ads out here. Holla.
Okay. So, now what artist?
See, that's a difficult question.
I know.
You know, because, and this is the thing, especially, and I'm glad we in this room, and I feel comfortable saying this. Advertisers and brands, like, look at this, because this brings up an interesting question, right? Talk about, like, a Nicki Minaj, or, let's say, even a Drake, which is a better example, right? In terms of advertisements and commercials, even with Coca-Cola, I love you guys. Please don't hate on me for this if you hear it. But Sprite is their urban brand, right?
Yeah.
So any urban artist that you ever see that's promoting Coca-Cola, it's always on Sprite. That's just historically where it's been. That is the Coca-Cola product that we as African Americans associate most with. That's where our dollar goes, right? So that's where they put him. Drake is arguably the largest artist that is out right now. Maybe it's switching Migos, but in terms of like the last 4 or 5 years, in terms of consistency,
Dreezy.
He's half Jewish. He's light than a motherfucker.
Right.
He's damn near as light as my cup. But he still can't break that mold of, oh, now I can be with Coke or Diet Coke.
Right.
And a lot of people have been hating on Lil Yachty.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. His camp is doing something right. He was in a Target commercial with Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
Even though he did a Sprite ad, he was also in that Target commercial. Like, Homeboy is getting that check.
Yeah, Yachty
and
people
he's
on top of it.
He is, in the last, let's say, 10 years, name another urban artist that's as dark as Lil Yachty that's been on a brand, in a commercial, for a brand as large as Target is.
Right.
Name one.
Shit, I don't remember Nautica having nobody.
Right.
He with Nautica too, ain't he? Got a little something with Nautica too.
Yeah. I mean, but he was just trying to think of it. Like, dang,
So-
like when you try to think of artists who had commercials.
Man, he got me thinking like about the Sprite demo. Like I
Right.
never realized that
Oh, yes,
all the
right.
black people.
They had the rap lyric on the can.
I mean, yeah, but I never
I know,
realized
yeah.
that they never like I guess graduated to
They
the
crossed
Coke.
over to the Coke, right.
And those are conversations that, like, you know, I've had to be in where there's people making decisions about our culture that are, I don't want to say leeching off our culture, but at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is. And some of the terminology when you're in these meetings, it's like, when you say urban, right? Or we're trying to attract the urban buyer. What does that mean?
Right.
What
that
you
seems-
saying
right.
is,
that seems real loaded.
well, I'm the only black dude in them fucking room. You want niggas to buy your shit, correct?
Right.
And now you looking at me for ideas, right? You got to cut a check for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is where like we have a lot of soft power within our culture that we got to start taking advantage of. Like, that shit is very, very important for us, which is why I appreciate the two of y'all. Like, you know, we were just talking about this outside, like seeing my cats from the young really doing something, taking nothing and turning it into something because you that passionate about it and you understand your worth. And doing it on your own, where it's like, I don't need your dollar right now because I'm going to come ask for your dollar later.
Right.
Once my shit is popping.
Right.
I'm not going to let you take 50 or 60% of what I got right now because it's not shit yet, but you see the vision. I'm going to let you know when the vision comes to fruition, you're going to have to open that checkbook a little wider.
Right.
And that's what we should be doing. But I know this was a long-winded answer to get back to what the artist was that I would fuck with. It's hard to answer that question because the artists that I really fuck with or want to see succeed, they're not socially viable at this point in time in terms of a dollar, right?
Right.
Or in terms of what I have access to help that situation.
Okay.
Right? There's a lot of people I want to help, but I can't.
Right.
Because it's not monetizable at this point.
Right.
So it's not going to be worth shit to you, and it's not going to be worth shit to me.
Right.
And at this point in time, my time is what's most valuable.
Okay.
That's one of the most honest answers we received on this show. Like, for real. Like, he just dropped so many gems, like shit to make you think, just on the whole marketing aspect and how they market to black people and what they think is marketable compared to what we would look like. Man, I don't give a fuck about that shit.
But it's okay though, and this is the thing that like I feel like a lot of us like struggle with, where it's like we feel like we're being taken advantage of. And it's like, you're not being taken advantage of if you have the rules to the game, right?
That's
and
true.
if you know that this is what they're doing, then we figure out a way to sidestep through the window. We've been doing that, like our parents, like we've been doing that for our entire lives as a culture, right? And at some point in time, we low-key stopped, like civil rights movement, like, yo, when we had Malcolm and Martin, like Malcolm wouldn't have been shit without Martin and vice versa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at a certain time, we kind of stopped fucking with each other, where it's like, it was a time like where Harriet told me, I give you the shirt off my back just because you was black if I knew you had less than me, even if I ain't had shit.
Right.
But we don't really do that for each other now. Now when your guys get on, your guy might be a little bit happy for you, but only to like stay on the squad long enough for you to really catch that check where he could float a check.
Yeah.
Right.
But motherfuckers is really hating out here.
Yeah,
legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah, legit. It's legit.
And we don't never talk about that shit, and like that shit is foul as fuck.
We can talk about it now.
We can talk about it.
We definitely
Yes,
can,
yes.
especially in this city.
We can talk about
In this
it.
It's
city,
the
like
silly hella haters.
I say that all the time. I say Atlanta rappers to me are the blueprint. Like, even if they don't, you don't know if they really like each other or what, but they go always be on songs together. They like I don't. Besides like the Gucci Jeezy, I don't really see too many Atlanta rappers like get into it and then not be on songs anyway together. You know what I mean? And see, like they be into it, but they'll still make a song together. And I'd be like everybody look at Gucci like the Godfather. Like all these people under his umbrella, but that's like Atlanta. Like all of them always together. They always kicking it. They always bigging up to each other. And I'm like, man, Chicago can't get it together. Could you imagine, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean, like a R. Kelly and Kanye song? Why haven't we had that?
Nah, well, we got one, but
go ahead
to the world. But I fully understand because of this, and it's one thing that I always observe recording around the city coming up. So when you record and then you hear about like Atlanta and you see Atlanta, you hear like, because the thing I always do is actually, if you go to any city, you can find like where the hip hop culture is actually pretty easy to find, like the Mecca, and you see and you talk to people, and people love to talk about music, especially the people that's creating it or the people that's like really monitoring it. And you hear about these people recording it, this producer's house, his producer's crib, and it's like we just hang out, we make beats, or he's making beats, and it's like them studio sessions. Like I say, I've been to studios in different cities, and Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, like when I went to Patchwork for the conference in Atlanta, like you can't pay, you know, to be there. and Coach K was there. Snake was there at the time, who was managing Young Dro. Monica's manager. All these people are there, right? So it's like the vibe. Everybody was there at the time. Bunch of different people, right? Don Cannon. So it's like all these people are in one room. Everybody's talking to each other. They all know each other. Brian Michael Cox. They all cordial. They all shaking hands. And they shaking hands with just the normal folk. And then even as I was left, I was waiting on the taxi. Uber wasn't out at the time. So John Legend comes in, and it's like a guy with John Legend. And then it's the guy with him, the important dude, blue suit, Chris Patel, he stops to talk to me. Hey, what's going on? I'm sitting here like, just waiting on a taxi. And this man is stopping to talk to me. It's like that is just the vibe. And when I saw that coming from Chicago as young as I was like, what's happening? Am I in the Twilight Zone? And dude come up, talk to me. He was like, yeah, I'm part of the Dungeon family. And I'm just looking at this like, do you know these are my heroes, bro? Like, and that vibe, I was like, this is so different than what I'm used to.
It's
so
Black Hollywood, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because that is, like, I feel like Atlanta, at least with the hip-hop, a lot of people won't talk shit about them, but they took that over with support of one another. Like you was just said, like, regardless of what it is, I don't care what kind of beef we got, unless you done something to my family or like my kinfolk. Like, I'm gonna rock with you regardless, or at least on radio. If I do an interview and somebody asks me about you, I'm gonna big you up because you from my city.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't do that in Chicago.
Like, even I'm just thinking right now. Like, has there ever been a Chicago song similar to "Welcome to Atlanta"?
what do we have? Probably maybe the Chicago Benjamins, but that don't count because that's not our song.
Right. Like Homecoming, but like then Homeboy wasn't even from Chicago.
Yeah, but no, I get it because even the way you think about it, right? So
until Chance, that is. Hold up. Let's shout out. Let's big up Chance though, because Chance doing a lot for the city.
Gotta big up Chance.
Definitely.
He's doing a lot for the city, and that is one young boy where like I feel like anybody coming for Chance neck. If you in Chicago, are you gonna get run out of here?
Yes, I will.
From anybody.
Yes, it's over for you.
You can't say nothing bad about that dude right now because that's a young boy, really doing shit for the city, giving back, but also still here.
Right.
He stayed.
Right.
Went to L.A. I was living in L.A. when he came out to L.A. He left right back.
Yeah. He was like, nah.
And Chance is so Chicago, like to me, the Jew can always get me, like the footworking and the video riding riding on top of the train, the footworking, and then who he danced with on stage.
Kalani.
The lean back with the shirt up. I thought, that boy Chicago crazy all day.
Yeah, and it's all an ecosystem, right? I mean, you see the same thing to me in L.A. Like, you know how I feel about L.A. rap. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you would look, and I'm like, Joe, like, I feel like all them dudes got songs together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, everybody got songs together, and you look around. But I think to Brandon's point, regardless of the industry, it's support. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny to watch because you'll see the support in other industries in Chicago. Like, you'll see it randomly in, like, technology. You'll look up and, like, the technologies here banding together, they support. You be like, gee, like, with all the talent that we have musically, because all our talent goes somewhere else and makes somebody else hot. Like, we go somewhere else, and next thing you know, you got a 444 album produced by No ID. Right.
But the other thing about that, though, is, like, with our history in music in Chicago, like, everybody that's blown out of here, and nobody ever talks about this, motherfuckers is taxing.
Oh, yeah.
You want to blow in Chicago? You want to do shows out here?
Yeah.
Oh, you on? Okay, cool. I'm going to get you this. I'm going to get you that. There's probably a handful. It's like 5 or 6 motherfuckers that got their hand in a lot of pockets out here. So the only thing that a lot of these dudes who didn't live that, like a Kanye, right?
Right.
Even though he from the South Side or whatever, but he not built like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. When Payroll busted his head open with that champagne bottle, he ain't come back here for a year and a half.
Right.
It's a reason for that. Until GLC gave him that cosign, was like, you ain't touching him.
Right.
But when you got people in your pockets and you're not built like that, your first instinct is, well, let me just leave.
Right.
If I have the ability to, let me go away.
That's true.
Yeah.
So us as a people, we got to stop doing that. I understand, like, look, a lot of people make claim to this city.
Right.
But if you see especially a young black man who has worked his ass off to get where he's at, let that boy cook and let that boy get a check. And if he kick back something to you for you doing something, then he does.
Right.
But don't get in his pockets before he ready for you to even get in his pockets.
Right.
Because we're not going to be able to create an industry here.
Man,
we're the third largest city, though,
right,
in the United States of America. Why do we not have a major record label at all, at least a satellite office here?
Right.
Nashville does.
Right. Because, dude, people are so, it's like, and that's always been the knock, though, right? That people have been scared. And it's very real. You know it. Because if you know just the rent, it's an old Parliament album. And it's called America Eats Its Young. Right, and you could just take off the America, substitute Chicago. We did the same to our Hoopers. Oh, we did the same to our Hoopers.
Oh my God.
You listening, you be like, man, those are horror stories, bro. Like, we should not have. We had a cycle where they were just doing home invasions of our basketball players. I'm sitting here like, I'm like, Joe, like, and you look at all these other places, and then you fast forward to Atlanta. And, now they surpassed the amount of movies being produced in Atlanta has surpassed Hollywood, they say. Right? So you hear that and you sitting there, and then you see, like, Big Boy from Outkast got a movie trailer company. He rents out 40 luxury trailers. And you sit there and you be like, gee, like, all them movies and TV shows you see with the Georgia Peach, and you sit there like, gee, like, if we could just get out of people's one out of the pockets, first get the city out the pockets, and then get everybody else out the pockets.
But it's like, this is the thing though. I would rather get $2,000 checks with somebody, right, than one $5,000 check out of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm catching a lick and I'm like, all right, I did bad business. Now you never gonna rock with me again.
Right.
We got that mentality here where we're not looking at the long game.
Right.
Boy, that's the truth right there. Because
you're gonna be you are going to be this is for anybody. It don't matter what city you're from.
Right.
If you look at the community that you're around and the people that you allow in your inner circle, you'll end up probably being the mean or the median of those individuals. Right.
Right.
So if all of my people are winning, right. You get a little something, you get a little something. But if I'm your man and I did good business with you, if I fall off, you could give me a little something, pick me up. I could do the same for you. Where it's like we eating together slowly.
Right.
Creating longevity of wealth.
Right.
It's not a lick.
Right.
Because if you want quick money, that shit blows just as quick.
Yeah, Chicago, it's that kind of city though. Like I used to always write that. Like, why do people like being petty? Why do people like saying the word I finesse?
Why do everybody love the finesse, bro?
Everybody love I finesse the matter. You finesse the plug out of 10,000, but you would have made 10,000 over 3 months. You know what I mean? Right. Everybody wants something quick, and it never ever works like that. Yeah. It's just like the Floyd Mayweather. Everybody, I use him a lot because everybody wants the Floyd money. But nobody wants to do the Floyd work. Nobody know Floyd Mayweather trains from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Don't drink.
Right. And I always feel like too, like people like that. And I feel like now, if you our age, there's no excuse, right? Because at this point, guess what? When you see whoever in our age group, you be like, oh man, he got a nice car. He got a nice house. He dressed nice. He keep the fresh shoes. Now, I don't care what you see on social media from him. If you use any type of logic, guess what? Anas go to work every day.
Yep.
Anas is at Northern Trust at 8:29, sometimes 8:49. But
hit or miss.
And is at work every day. So guess what? When you see Annie, you be like, man, this nigga ain't missed a pair of Jordans. He had to go to work every day for that. You know what I'm saying? Or he had to go this. You know what I'm saying? When you see his daughter and you like, she looking fly, guess what? He was at work for that to happen. It wasn't no finesse. And it's like, so stop. I always say people got to get out of that mentality, that fast money, because it ain't never real.
But it's because we don't glorify the long road. We don't glorify it at all. Like everybody talks about like you said, the quick come up. I finessed this, I did that, but nobody talks about nobody glorifies like I went to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
You can't really do that though, because when you are working like that, you're not talking, right? So then the only thing that people see that you are able to present at a certain point in time when the money starts catching up with your work, then all they see is like, oh shit, Ant popped off, like he got the fucking J's and shit, like. Because a lot of people don't see that, nor do they want to pay attention to it. Because when you are working, you don't have time to glorify that hard work, because every single minute of your life matters.
Right.
And it's, I got to work. I'm not talking about none of this shit. And then when you get a chance to relax a little bit, and then, you should shine once you put in all that work. That's all the people see.
Right.
Is, oh, Ant got the J's or whatever the case may be, you on vacation or whatever, but you didn't see none of that hard work across the last 10 years that I've been putting in to do this shit. Because I mean, that's a really interesting point, because like a lot of motherfuckers like on my Facebook or whatever, like, oh, B, you're killing it, must be nice. You didn't see when I was traveling across this country in a van with 6 other motherfuckers sleeping in one hotel room,
right?
Where my band is sleeping in their beds, I'm on the floor.
Right.
Like, you didn't see none of that shit, because why am I going to post me sleeping on the floor?
Right.
Because all motherfuckers going to say is, oh, look at his dusty ass.
Right.
Sleeping on the floor. Because motherfuckers will never miss an opportunity to hate on any part of your process.
Yeah. Absolutely.
From your come up to your glow up. They are stuck, because they'll hate on you sleeping on the floor, then they'll hate on you owning the whole floor. Why he got to own the whole floor? And you're like, man, eat a dick.
Right. And that's why I don't give a fuck about what nobody has said. And motherfuckers done call me corny in life, you a lame, whatever, you would sell out. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. As long as I'm right with me and my people, and the people that I know love me,
right.
I don't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
Yeah. And
you keep talking about me.
That's another thing too. I don't know if y'all probably went through it being smart with the young boys, but somebody has always said that. You know what I mean? Oh, you a lame, or you corny. Like, being young, I never understood why you couldn't be smart. I never, to this day, I never understood why when I was
let them boys from Kenwood, man.
Yeah,
you know, shout out them Broncos, Mustangs, whatever y'all are.
You know what got me through that, low key? Like two things. One, I remember granted not when you made it, but once you get your first, I guess, thing where gonna translate to the hood, like no lie, I had a Monte Carlo, but everybody got a Monte Carlo. When I got the Bumblebee Camaro, the hood was like, we need to know him, we need to know what he do.
Yeah.
And I never forget people like, what do you do and all this shit. And it ended up me saying, like, you know what I'm saying, I would tell shorties, I was like, gee, they'd be like, man, you got that, that's nice. And I would always say, I fixed so many computers to get this Camaro, G. Right. And people would look at me like I was crazy, but I'm like, dead ass. People like, you really fix computers? Yes, motherfucker, a lot of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think the thing that got me through what you said, like how people would call you a lame for being smart, the thing that got me through that is this. I was lucky enough at a young age that when I finally got to honors classes, it was so many cute girls in that motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
No lie, it was so many cute girls.
You better preach your
and
word
it's
right
like,
up, boy.
when you sitting there and you calling me lame or whatever you want to say, it's like, nah, like, I'm in here with the girls, and guess what? When I never forget, like, 8th grade, actually, what's crazy, the girl who was on the show a while back, Crystal, was in my class. It was I think pre-algebra. I'm the dumbest kid in pre-algebra, meaning I had a B+. Everybody got A's. Class full of girls. I think it was probably like about 5 boys, Jack. And these girls rolled my ass so hard because I had a B+.
Yep.
And I made a bet with the whole class. I said, all right, here's my bet. If I don't finish with an A, all of y'all, I got to buy the whole class full-size Snicker candy bars. And, for a kid, I was like I said, I was just
That's
like.
a check.
Man, I'm sitting there like, damn. Like, and I was that confident in myself. I was like, man, I got to get up because these girls was making fun of me because I had a B, Jack. Like, they going at me. Next thing I know, I went hard, but I didn't get an A. And I had to buy the whole class Snickers, G. Like, but I'm like, yo, like, if these are what the smart girls look like, oh nigga, I'm here for this.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy because I did something similar. Like motherfuckers be on the block, like, oh, that's the nerd of the county. That's like treasure of the Blackstones and shit like that.
Hey, bro.
And, but
That's a legit joke.
Yeah, there's no truth to that. But but the funny shit is, I remember I showed them Whitney Young yearbook right before we graduated, and I'm like, yeah, these are the women I go to high school with, and they was like, Joe, they all look like this. I'm like, yeah, y'all go to high school with Congos and shit, and all this shit, wildebeest, lichens, gargoyles, like the
Creatures of the night.
right, creatures of the night. The first person in your yearbook is Ajanisha Wilson or some shit like that. Right, and here I am, like, we gotta, I don't want to name drop the fine girls.
Alicia Pillar,
right?
Jenkins,
I knew you was gonna go there. I knew it.
Naisha,
Colette Harris and shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what I've been seeing Colette since 4th grade, and you niggas are dealing with Ajanice Wilson from Julian.
I feel like this is a real person.
But this is true.
It's real talk.
Because I remember seeing Austin yearbook, and I think that shit was on notebook paper and Polaroids, and I was like,
with staples, stapled together.
I think that shit was notebook paper and Polaroids. Right, you know what I mean? I'm like, ain't nobody really checking for y'all homecomings or nothing. You know what I mean? You had to hire the women, Joe.
And it's not to say that like smart people are pretty people, but like chances are if you hang out with smarter people, chances are there are going to be some prettier people.
You know to make better life decisions.
You got access to better shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You know to drink water so your skin is clear.
And even the uglier people in your class look better because they just know things.
Right, and they probably really only ugly because they next to the super cute girls. Like these girls would be the top of y'all class at any other school. You know what I mean?
Like motherfuckers telling me some girl's thick and she drool on herself.
You know what? Stop it.
Sorry,
my
bad,
bro. No, hold on. I'm sorry. One more, because that shit legit, bro. I'm gonna get upset because I remember looking at like Curie had women, like girls mixed. You know what I'm saying? Long hair, no weed. Then I look at like the Austin yearbook, and the girls still had like the ponytails with the suckers in them and shit. Like, come on, man. I'm with girls. You don't even see them comb their hair. They don't walk around with red tail combs, and they shit good all day.
Or their hair look like a parakeet. Some shit like that.
You know what? I got somewhere else to take this because you didn't even brought us into another world recently. Like granted, I had been getting invites and stuff at Soho House forever.
Oh yeah,
random, and I'm just sitting here like just kind of like. I would always kind of blow it off, like some people who've been on our show definitely members of Soho House. I think Kelly, I think Gio, Sue. So I've been like, all right.
Well, you had Sully on here?
No. Sue Haley.
Oh, okay.
Sue Haley. Oh, so I'm sitting here like, just waving my hand like, okay, cool. Next thing I know, once we get the invite from you, I'm like, all right, gotta go. All right, we gotta go. And I walk in there and I'm just like, it's a totally different experience. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, this is a very interesting spot. And I walked in and I felt like, I feel like a guy like me should be in here on the damn near daily basis.
Absolutely.
We go up and I'm just sitting here like, okay. And, you were hosting the event. The Cool Kids debuted a TV show. And I was just sitting there like, yo, this place is like, I'm like, I could feel the exchange of ideas. I could feel like the juices, like the creative juices just flowing in the air. And I was like, yo, this is lit. So I don't know. Can we talk about that project? Because they debuted the first single, the video.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, man. So, yeah.
Well, the Cool Kids, like, they always been fam. Like, because, like we was talking about earlier, just coming up in Chicago, like, especially in the music scene or whatever, like, I feel like, honestly, the Cool Kids don't get enough credit for what they did in terms of like the black hipster movement, like when they came out with black mags and shit, like bringing retro shit back, like the Cool Kids was on the forefront of that shit, right? And a lot of people, I feel like Tyler Creator, like ASAP, like all them cats, like they kind of spawned a little bit out of.
I agree.
That progressive, like we nerdy, like Nigel, Hollywood Hope, like. That motherfucker would listen to like punk rock music. He was out there wearing like jean jackets, started a moped gang. Like that was like the first like real old school punk, like hipster, black hipster, just like movement at large. But I was fucking with them for a minute.
And them drum and bass beats.
Yeah.
Man.
And Mano was a part of a lot of that.
Yeah.
Chuck. Like, them fools was hitting. And Mano's on now. But I feel like the Cool Kids split up. And they was doing their own thing or whatever. And you know, trying to just figure out, like, where their space was musically. Then when they decided to come back together, you know, they got a new project coming out. And they've just been like super creative throughout the last like few years. And we got the same attorney. So he showed me this thing called The Shit Show, which was them like as characters, a la like Dave Chappelle, where it's just doing skits. And, you know, I really believe that shit is about to get picked up. They talking to some major players right now. But Josh hit me up, was like, yo, we about to do this release for the TV show, and we got this single rocking. Like, what's up? Can we get in, like, at the Soho House, and, like, can you bring some ad clients out?
Right.
I was like, absolutely. That's fam. So, literally, like, that shit kind of came out of, like, nowhere, and that was just, like, off the strength of, like, just love.
Right.
Like, and, like, we got history together. Like, anything you need, like, I got you if I can do something. But that event went off without a hitch. It was a dope event. We're probably gonna do another one here in a minute once they actually release the LP. But yeah, that shit was just ill. And like with y'all, me and Ant was talking about, because I was trying to get on the show a little bit earlier, schedule conflicted or whatever, and I was like, yo, I need to shoot these dudes a little text message that y'all need to fall through and come fuck with us. You know what I'm saying?
I think
I felt so underprivileged being there.
You know, I didn't even
fishing for compliments.
Right,
Shit.
yes. I'm glad. Thank you for calling this nigga out for that shit.
Motherfucker.
Thank you for fishing that. Ain't going.
I think you got some Wolf Grays on, my G. What the fuck is you talking about with the crispy polo?
Wait, go bring up the jeans.
You know what?
Yo, my
I know.
I
know.
Yeah, dressed like a Thundercat. Be
Hey, be easy, bro. You gotta start wearing socks.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Your jeans are mighty chalkboardish, though. Like, at this point, it looks like. Wait, well, no. But what I'm saying,
this is what we're doing.
Wait, yeah, I mean, we're not there yet.
We're not
but
there.
we're getting there.
We are.
What I'm saying is,
because this is about to be Greenhouse in the lunchroom again.
It looks like.
Okay.
It looks like.
Okay.
Your third grade teacher was smacking the fucking chalkboard.
Okay.
And shit, and then she cut out that fabric and made your jeans.
Okay. For the sake of this length of this podcast.
But you are matching. Because it's all gray.
Okay. You got on that Erykah Badu ring over your finger. And I just want us to just keep going. And we could just progress this podcast without a roast kicking off.
Oh, man.
We on the time schedule. Let's just keep going. Come on, Dion.
Greenhouse / Bluehouse.
Yeah, this is what it is. I'm sure Mike is laughing.
I think the thing that's difficult for artists, when you create certain artists have what I call muse songs, where they create a song and it's bigger than them, and it's like the sound. Everybody loves the sound, so they kind of take it. Black Mags is one of those songs.
Absolutely.
And
100%.
you hear Black Mags, and it's like everybody hears Black Mags and say, this is what I want to do. And some people do it, some people can't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, I've been looking for a drum and bass beat like that since Black Mags came out, and you can't really find a producer to do it, right? But the guys that have kind of took that, ran with it. And you'll see a bunch of people. Erykah Badu's persona is a muse persona.
I like how you brought that back.
Like, so, like, you know, she dropped On and On, and those songs from her first album, The Other Side of the Game, The Next Lifetime, and the genre ran with it. It's like,
absolutely,
man, we about to take it. You even see that now with recent people. You see it now with The Weeknd. Everybody, like, man, it's like, you know, and as much as other people dream, want to say, hey, he took from me. Yeah, I love you, but nah. He came out He came out with something, and now everybody is like, "Yo, how do we recreate that?"
The Dream needs to sit down and have all the seats because that's a reach.
Right.
The dark side of R&B
it's a reach.
has nothing
But,
to do with Dream.
man, like you see that, and I think that's always an interesting space for artists to get in, and actually anybody, because you see it happen with style. It's a natural progression. People are going to take it. They're going to run with it. People are doing it with Chance now. They want the beats with the jazzy sounds, and like the live instruments, and like you don't know that there's a whole social experiment scene. Like you don't know that there's a Peter Cottontail, there's a Donnie Trumpet. Like those people are there making that sound, and it's like to me, Chance is really a band, right? He's Chance the Rapper, but he's really a band because those are his family, and. It's always difficult. So to bring it back to the Cool Kids, they were in such an interesting spot. And to me, it was good to see them like kind of venture out even separately because I'm like, yo, they still out here. They still going at it. And I think it was dope to see. And yeah, Tyler, the Creator, did run with the whole sound.
Yeah, they were just ahead of their time. You know what I'm saying? They happened just like, I feel like slightly too early to monetize on it. It's like people always say like, oh, you want to be first, right? Not always. Sometimes you want to be second, let the motherfucker go first who doesn't get the check, and then you figure out what he didn't do absolutely correct.
Oh yeah.
And you build what he built and make it better, and then you get the big check.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the Cool Kids, I feel like at that point in time, like they were just a little bit too ahead of their time.
Tyler blew the
because they get credit from the artist community, right?
Yeah, they do.
But on some silent shit where you at a show or a festival or whatever, and you're like, yo, man, you know how much you mean to me or whatever. And I see the handshakes and shit. It was like, all right, well, let's do a song. Shit, cut a check.
Right.
Like, let's get some bread together there if I mean that much to your ass.
And you know what? It's Drake isn't first, right? So Drake was, and you look at it like people always say, well, this person did the exact formula. And you're right, he did. But it's like he just to his point, sometimes you don't want to be first because a lot of them trailblazers sitting somewhere like, man, like, they rubbing their hands together. And the dude that was second knocked it out the park. Like he getting all the credit, fam.
It's kind of like timing and luck, and it is involved with that as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Just like we joke around, we talk about like if Tony Kukoc played in this NBA, first team All NBA.
Tony Kukoc would be right now signing for 4 years, 178.
Easy. And but he played in the wrong era. He was in the 90s, so he had to come off the bench. Tony Kukoc played now. Draymond who?
Left-handed. Come here.
So
don't talk shit about Draymond.
Hold on, what happened?
Sounds like Draymond.
I actually like Draymond, but our resident Cleveland Cavalier fan.
He's the heart of that squad.
Draymond gets no love over here.
Oh man,
it ain't because
he LeBron crazy. It's like next
Draymond.
Level. It's
y'all
next
got
level.
the same hairline.
I hate. Hold on, Jim from Freestyle Friday. If you want to go here, the bars are always like the loaded.
Let me take my shit off. I don't have no hairline.
It's cool. Smile to South Star. Next time, let me know.
You know what, man? Look.
I knew we were going in this direction.
I felt like this was going.
It's been inching. It was just a little shot.
It was just going.
Intricate shots.
Y'all knew what it was. Come on, stop.
Yeah.
The bar's always in the backpack. Like the Draco. We be waiting. The Draco always on deck.
You know what, man? Okay. So we talked about a lot of things, right? We talked about a hell of a lot of things. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap up. So.
You always got to wrap up.
You're right. You always
for y'all kids out there, you definitely have to wrap up.
Look at our resident raw dog. Look how he looking like.
If ain't no ring on your finger,
resident
you
raw
have
dog?
to wrap up.
Our resident raw dog.
Why you just can't be calling me all type of shit that you want to on this? Man.
How many motherfucking nicknames you got?
Hey, bro, look, man.
I like that you got some new glasses, though.
You know what?
Because your shits at the Yug was.
Hey man, talking about my glasses not gonna bring back your curly hair. It's not gonna bring it back. Let's just move on.
All right, man. All right,
Dion, bring us back.
I'm gonna bring this back.
Yo, that's that Joe Budden. Wrap it up there.
Wrap it up. We'll wrap it up there.
Wrap it up there.
Wrap it up
Do I
there.
look like I was left out bad booze? Look,
Huh?
okay.
What?
So I gotta do a fuckboy of the week.
Okay.
I gotta do a fuckboy of the week. This fuckboy is interesting. It's not a man. It's a woman. It's a woman.
They can get it too.
They can get it too, right? So here's who we have winning this award. Yeah, y'all know Tony Preckwinkle.
Yes.
Oh.
President of the Cook County Board.
Yeah. Why you got that look? You got.
I thought that
if we gonna defend your political
I'm gonna go ahead and
connects.
say it. Like, if you got to cut this out, but you seemed confused when you was like, it's not a man, but it might be.
You know what?
You know, the funny thing about it, I was like,
Her fade better than a lot of niggas out here though, because it had the S curl at the top.
You know what? Okay.
I'm just saying,
So
and it was salt and pepper. My bad.
Tony Wildin. So y'all know they trying to put the beverage tax. They trying to give us the beverage tax on sugary drinks, which will raise the price of all kinds of shit. Because it's even if you say you want to be healthy and get a drink that's 0 calorie, if it's still got that artificial sweetener, it's still a penny per ounce. So your little pop, 20 ounces, 20 cents more. Your 2 liters are going to increase by 68, 70 cents.
and
So-
I read something that a 99-cent 2 liter could be a tax with if that shit going to affect like $1.81 essentially.
Yeah, she got real
Yeah.
deep
Yeah.
at that moment.
Yeah. So Tony's wilding. So here's the crazy part though. So the Chicago Teamsters Union took out a full page ad in the Sun-Times, say they were against the tax. So a judge blocked the tax, and what ends up happening is that now, since the tax was blocked, Tony put out a list of 925 people, something like 900 plus people that will be laid off if the tax does not come into effect. Here's the crazy shit. 377 of them people are part of the Teamsters Union. So I was sitting here and I was thinking to myself, I'm looking up, I'm reading this in bed, I'm looking up at the ceiling like, Tony want to go to war with the Teamsters? I was like, I'm sure they got some body snatchers still, Tony. like you got to be more careful.
Got to be more
You
careful.
got to pick better battles.
Tony been out here for a minute though.
She
I
has.
feel like her
She has.
gangster has already been solidified.
She
and at
has.
some point in time, you gotta exercise your fucking gangster.
Whew.
And this is what better time than now.
Oh man,
Her son went to Kenwood.
Tony, you know.
I'm not gonna say nothing about him.
So Tony wins the award. It's now as far as event, we usually do an event of the week. So this is we looking for an event. I already have my event. I'll tell y'all what it was. It's gonna be like all lit. Like if you like Cougars, Jill Scott block party that she has at Northerly Island, Huntington Beach.
Ooh.
It's gonna be Jill Scott, Belle Biv DeVoe,
Oh yeah.
SWV,
When is
Kelly
that?
Rowland. This is actually on July 22nd. Kelly
So this in a minute.
SWV.
That ain't the event of this week.
Well, no,
Well,
no, yeah,
This podcast is gonna be
yeah.
for next week.
it's for next week.
Y'all niggas got me in here early.
Hey man,
I hate him so much.
Yeah, your edges though are right.
My edges are present. Most importantly, they're present. They
You know
are present. Most importantly, motherfucker.
oh man, you know what? You know what? This show.
I got my event of the week, man.
What's your event?
Man,
What's your event?
shout out to my little sister. She's having a baby, so she's having a baby shower, but it's not.
I say they open to the public.
It's not.
Right.
Hey, low key.
He said
I mean,
my event
shout
of
out
the
to
week
the
is some
Morrows,
shit you
but,
can't
like,
go to.
Listen. See, look. What we just said about longevity. Stop trying to be so quick with everything.
Oh, Lord.
So
That was good,
basically, my sister is in Atlanta, Georgia. We're all flying down to her friends and family, like all her college people, her sorors, my brother Chris, all his friends. We're all going. She's having a pool party for her baby shower in Atlanta.
Nice.
I'm getting some Gucci flip flops and some Gucci shades. You know, I'm gonna live life. It's gonna be real
Are
fun.
you gonna put out the address or no?
No, because I can't.
So it's not event of the week.
It is.
God damn, we hate you.
We don't bring people with us to Black Alumni, but we brought up Black Alumni last week.
But they can follow y'all down.
Oh, yeah,
like a
I
trail.
feel like Amp P has
I have nothing.
lotion for his beard.
You know what?
My nigga shit is shining.
You know what?
Shining,
That's
shining,
the microwave light.
We gonna do a special podcast. It's just 1 hour long roast session. We go get about just people in the
Look,
room. and
we
just
need
let
that
them
need to
roast.
be downstairs in Studio A.
Studio.
Please let
And
me
then
be
just
there.
put everybody just around the mics and just get the bell going.
You gotta have one of them things like a
Listen.
wilding out. What are the
Amp P the beard done fooled the fuck up since the young dog. Yo, my nigga, your shit is crispy.
eating a little bit more
Wait.
cat these days?
Oh,
and you got the line still with your dimple.
hold up. Look,
Your dimple don't distract
Bruh,
from your
this
line.
this not about to be MP hour. Like this not. I'm trying. I'm trying to
Smile
get your
wide,
podcast
my
in.
nigga.
listen, B. Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank you for
End this.
coming.
End
Thank you
this.
for coming. I almost had to hit the air horn.
BrewhouseMusic.com. Holla at your boy.
BrewhouseMusic.com.
Yeah, I got it in because I remember that last shit. She didn't get hers in.
She
If
didn't.
you can't spell brew or house or music, then you don't need to fuck with me.
Damn.
Gang.
Gang.
No foreplay show. We out.
Yeah.
No foreplay.
Lotion on the beard.